It won't be. That's not the policy. She doesn't even understand her own policy. So Liz Truss has been out on the airwaves this morning. You might have heard it, speaking with the likes of Radio Leeds, Radio Bristol, Radio Stoke. And it's safe to say that her interviews didn't exactly go very well for her. Let's have a look at some of them. So this first one is Liz Truss speaking with Rima Ahmed of BBC Radio Leeds, where she claims that her energy policy would mean that households across the country will not pay any more than £2,500 for their energy bills in a year, which is not her policy. And I'll explain it a bit more in a bit and probably get quite angry because this is basic stuff. It is literally her policy. Let's take a listen to it.
Energy is going to reduce or likely to reduce inflation by up to 5%. The action we've taken on energy bills will mean that Lee and other people living in West Yorkshire aren't going to be facing energy bills of £6,000, which is what was forecast. They're going to be, those through the energy price guarantee, the maximum will be £2,500, and the action...
It won't be. That's not the policy. She doesn't even understand her own policy. What can you even say? The energy price cap is the average that a household will pay. It's the middle. It's always been that way since it was created. That's what the energy price cap is. Her own policy is not to cap prices at £2,500 either. That is the average that the average household will pay. People with bigger households, bigger families, etc., who use more energy, they will be paying bills of £6,000. £2,500 is just the average. How does she not understand this? It's her policy. No wonder we're so fucked. Calm down a bit. And we'll go into this one with Liz Truss speaking with John Akers of BBC Radio Stoke. This one is about... It's also... oh, God, she's speaking about mortgages. Let's have a listen to it.
It's also about how we grow the size of the pie so that everyone can benefit.
By borrowing more and putting our mortgages up.
Oh, the silence.
We need to borrow more this winter for the energy crisis that we're facing. What? And I think that was the right thing.
Yes, she's borrowing more for the energy crisis to put a policy in place. She's also borrowing tens of billions of pounds to hand tax cuts to the rich as well. There's literally nothing to do with Putin. That's her own choice. That's why everything's so fucked.
Mortgage. We're going to spend more in mortgage fees under what you've done based on the predictions than we would have saved with energy.
Yeah, completely right. Exactly right. Because she's fucked the economy. Literally, it doesn't matter what she does on energy because everyone's going to be worse off. Literally, she's lost for words.
I don't think anybody is arguing.
Listen to that silence.
We would have more in mortgage fees under what you've done based on the predictions than we would have saved with energy.
I don't think...
Fucking hell. Yeah, there's probably a delay on it, but Jesus Christ, you can hear the cogs fucking whirring.
Anybody is arguing that we shouldn't have acted on energy, which is not. Yeah, it's also about...
Fucking hell. All right, let's go to another one. This is Liz Truss speaking with Graham Liver on BBC Radio Lancashire about fracking and her government's decision to begin fracking for literally no fucking reason. It won't do anything to... Let's just listen to it.
Let's talk about local consent right now. What does that look like? Scott Benton, the Conservative MP for Blackpool South, in a tweet says he believes that people in Blackpool South do not support fracking. This is the Tory MP for Fylde, Mark Menzies, in the House of Commons.
If the Prime Minister is to remain a woman of her word, a woman that we can believe in, which I believe she is, can the Secretary of State outline how that local consent will be given and demonstrated in my constituency of Fife?
How will it be given?
What does local consent look like, Prime Minister?
Well, the Energy Secretary will be laying out in more detail exactly what that looks like, but it does mean making sure there is local support for going ahead.
Really?
And I can assure
it sounds like you don't know.
It does sound like you don't know.
And I can assure Mark Menzies, well, there are various detailed issues to be worked through, but I can assure Mark Menzies that I will make sure there is local consent if we are to go ahead in any particular area with fracking.
But your local MPs don't want it, all Conservative. In the past, the County Council have said they didn't want it, yet your government overturned it. The science hasn't changed. Why can't you tell us this morning there won't be a return to fracking in Lancashire?
Well, I don't accept the premise of your question.
Why?
Why?
It's certainly the case at present.
It's all true.
Well, because what I've said is if there is local consent, we will go ahead. We need to explore where there is local consent and where there isn't, and we're still doing that work.
What does local consent mean?
Your
I don't think we
Chancellor.
should rule out the whole of Lancashire.
You talked about how it's a success in other countries, but in America they do it in the middle of nowhere. Do you actually know where Preston New Road is, where they have been fracking?
Well, I don't think I've been to that site in the past.
For fuck's sake. No, she
Shouldn't
hasn't
you?
got a fucking clue.
Well, as I've said, we will only go ahead with projects where there is local consent. I'm very, very clear about that. Now, we will make sure that local consent is in place. And
She's a robot. It's just unbelievable. All right, let's go on to the last one. The fourth clip. This is Liz Truss speaking with James Hansen from BBC Bristol. Speaking about Putin again and the Bank of England. And oh my God, I haven't actually heard this one. Let's see what she says.
Will be facing no more than £2,500 for a typical energy bill.
She said, oh my God, she said that the price cap was £2,500. Nobody would be paying more than that. Again, for the second time. Listen again. She said the same thing again.
Will be facing no more than £2,500 for a typical energy bill. We've also taken action to reduce our tax burden and spur.
Yeah, but Prime Minister, with respect, that
so
is
we
the
get
same
economic
scripted answer you've given
growth
to every BBC local radio station this morning. You've got the Bank of England stepping in now to try and clean up a mess a government has caused. That has never happened.
We have a very, very difficult economic global situation.
Yes, and you've made it miles worse by borrowing 80 billion bloody pounds to fund tax cuts for the rich. That's why this is happening. You haven't inherited all of this shit. You've made this shit even worse.
Because of the war that Vladimir Putin...
Blame it on Putin, all of it. Yes, some of it obviously is his fucking fault. You've made it 10 times fucking worse.
...perpetrated in Ukraine. And countries are under pressure around the world.
This isn't Putin. This isn't just about Putin. I mean, your Chancellor on Friday opened up the stable door and spooked the horses so much you can almost see the economy being dragged behind them.
This is about Putin.
No,
and
it's
the war.
not. That part of it is. You've made it miles worse.
Ukraine. That is why we are.
So the Bank of England's intervention yesterday was the fault of Vladimir Putin, was it?
What I was saying is it's
no answer. Exactly.
very difficult and stormy times in the international markets. And of course, the Bank of England is independent. It takes the action it needs to take. And it is responsible for interest rates, and it is responsible for financial stability.
It shouldn't be responsible for having to babysit a fucking government.
But it...
That last bit, just massive intake of breath. Oh, fucking hell. What can you even say? What can you even say about our fucking Prime Minister? Well, there you go. So if you've enjoyed listening to me rant about Liz Truss and her absolute bullshit, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because I'll be doing a lot bloody more of it, I can assure you of that. So yeah, also, I'm genuinely angry. I'm genuinely furious at how incompetent she is. Just how bad our bloody country's going to go down the drain. We need her out. We need her out. Anyway, yeah, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, please. We need more subscribers. We've only got like 1.5 thousand or something. I think we're going to need some more. And also, don't forget, if you can afford to support the channel, we rely almost entirely on our audience for our funding. So head to evolvepolitics.com/support and drop us a monthly donation or just one-off donation, anything like that. Every little bloody helps right now, because if we keep this, if this government stays in, we're going to be struggling even more like everybody else. So please, if you can afford it, drop us something, and I'll see you in the next one.